Hi there. I debated whether to talk about this topic today, and I will explain my rationale a little bit as I go through this piece, but I want to talk about Marcus Rashford. Really important news topic, as I'm sure any of you know who've picked up on it over the last few days. This is where the incredible footballer Marcus Rashford has been trying to change the government's mind and to get them to commit to giving free school meals to families in need over the holiday period. And of course the government overturned that decision. They decided they didn't want to do that. And so as I sit here today recording this, it's certainly not something that is happening at the moment. But what's really interesting is that the weight of community support and spirit means that actually it doesn't matter that the government has said no, because the number of cafes and restaurants and pubs and education outlets and local authorities that have leapt forward and said, we're going to support that, we're going to open up, we're going to make sure we fund it regardless. So it's incredible work. But something that it brought up a theme around things that I thought was really important talking about. And one of the things is, because it's been in the news all the time, is if you listen to the commentators talk about why does it matter that we continue to nourish these children and that we ensure children can be fed, whether it's in school time or in the holidays, the number one thing they'll all say, and I've heard it so many times on so many broadcast channels over the last few days, is children who are malnourished do not have the flexible, agile brains to be able to concentrate well in their schoolwork and to live a fulfilled and happy life. Children who are underfed are in so many ways disengaged with the full experience of their life. Does that strike a chord at all? I wanted to kind of really make that point, because we're really hitting home here that actually if you are malnourished, if you are underfed, it does your brain absolutely no good, and your emotional connection to the world suffers terribly when you are not getting the right sustenance. So anytime your eating disorder is telling you that this very small amount will suffice, or that you don't need to support your body and your mind with more food, more nourishment. Think of all these spectators and these kind of experts talking about this very topic. And I know we're talking about young people and their agile brains, but actually whether you're listening to this as an adult with an eating disorder or a younger person, or you're supporting somebody with an eating disorder, it's so important. It couldn't be more imperative that we nourish ourselves to be able to lead a full and good quality life. It's so important. The other reason I am mentioning this today is not just because all my kind of points about the need to get out of famine and to feed ourselves well is proven by all these commentators on the news this last few days. Is not just that, it's just that I have had a couple of messages where people have hinted, suggested, said to me that this news being in the sort of headlights at the moment is making them feel huge, horrendous guilt for the times that they have thrown away food, discarded food, or demonized food while other people are going hungry. All I'm going to say to that is your guilt, your shame is just so unnecessary in terms of your need to get well and recovered. There's no point in focusing your own individual behaviours and actions which you have directly associated with a mental health illness. Why lump that on your plate and associate it with something that's being talked about in the national media because a Premiership footballer has got a national campaign going on? You can have empathy and sympathy and complete compassion for what Marcus Rashford is doing in this campaign, and you can yet still suffer from your crippling eating disorder, which makes you behave in ways that you know yourself are uncomfortable and which you long to be free from. That can still happen. That is just that weird, uncomfortable juxtaposition. But please don't lump the guilt on yourself. Please don't add shame into the mix. Just focus on getting yourself well and recovered. I know that might feel awkward, and I can understand why for some people it's brought up all sorts of just unhappy thoughts and uncomfortable feelings, and yeah, maybe a sense of sort of emotional shame, but no energy needs to go into that. Put all the energy in recovery. Okay, take care.